Your thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's retirement?
One of the greatest fighters we've ever seen. Never ran from anybody. Had completely respected the sport of boxing. Was an ultimate champion. And I have to tell you, one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet on the planet Earth.
I love Mayweather. I think Manny Pacquiao whooped Mayweather today. Manny Pacquiao in his prime was throwing damn near 100 punches per round. No other fighter could do that, and he wasn't on steroids. Manny Pacquiao all day.
I might not be as fast as I was when I was 30, but I'm still fast enough to break your nose or do some damage to you.
Yeah, and for Manny, it wasn't so much the power; it was the speed and the accuracy and the 2 or 3 punches in a row that just.
Stephen A. Smith shares his thoughts on why he believes Manny Pacquiao would dominate Mayweather in a potential rematch. He describes Pacquiao as the ultimate champion and a true icon in the world of boxing who has earned. Smith highlights Pacquiao's impressive technique, along with his speed and strength, stating that these abilities continue to stand out even at the age of 46, according to Smith. Pacquiao looks more dangerous now than ever before, and he is confident that this version of Pacquiao would be too much for Mayweather to handle if they ever stepped into the ring again.
Your thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's retirement?
One of the greatest fighters we've ever seen. Never ran from anybody. Had completely respected the sport of boxing. Was an ultimate champion. And I have to tell you, one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet on the planet Earth. I mean, when people, I want to just say this real quick because I know we got to go because we got one more thing to discuss, Marcus.
Yeah.
When people talk about Manny Pacquiao and they say stuff like, well, he's fighting for money. I would like y'all to know that there are people who line up in the streets of the Philippines just to come get some money from him. He's very charitable.
Oh, yeah.
That's why money was compromising, because he's a giver.
Charleston White spoke openly about the long-running tension between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. He claimed that during the years when Pacquiao was at his best, Mayweather chose not to face him, and it was not due to strategy, but out of fear. White pointed out how dangerous Pacquiao was at his peak with his explosive combinations, sharp footwork, and relentless fighting style, which made him a tough challenge for anyone. Allegations from Floyd accusing Pacquiao of using steroids were seen by many as excuses meant to delay the inevitable showdown. Instead of facing Pacquiao when both fighters were in their prime, Mayweather held off. White's remarks added weight to the belief that Floyd was unwilling to risk his perfect record against a fully capable Pacquiao.
An honorable man, right? Yeah. Going to the grave. A story of redemption. Absolutely. Somebody we remember forever. No doubt, man. With Charleston, we'll let you get back to your business. And can't forget about the George Foreman grill, man. Yeah, can't forget about that grill, the George Foreman grill. It taught many people
how
to
make
burger without being messy. Definitely an important thing, that George Foreman grill, bro. Yeah. Without question, man. What's your best memory of Manny Pacquiao? Watching Manny fight over the years, what was your best memory of him? I love Mayweather. But Mayweather avoided him for all those years, accusing him of being on steroids, and he never tested positive for steroids. He was like a machine. Yeah, homie. So if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the only fighters, homie, that threw over 100-something plus rounds, punches per round. So he was like a machine, homie, hard to beat.
Age has always been a major talking point in the world of boxing, and when it comes to Pacquiao and Mayweather, it holds even more weight. For a long time, any discussion of a second fight between them was dismissed as unrealistic, with many assuming their prime days were behind them. However, Pacquiao's recent performance against Mario Barrios shifted that perception. His sharp movement, quick reflexes, and solid conditioning surprised many who had doubts. Now, the possibility of Floyd returning to face this version of Pacquiao no longer feels impossible. Instead of watching two aging fighters struggle, fans are beginning to wonder if Mayweather would actually take the risk of facing a veteran who still poses a serious threat. The anticipation around this potential rematch is slowly rising once again.
So now the question hanging in the air like a jab, what's next for the Pac-Man? There's a growing chant for a Floyd rematch. And you know what? I wouldn't hate it. Two legends, both past their peak, but still dangerous. still proud, still built for the lights. Only thing is, after what Manny just showed, not sure Floyd wants that smoke.
Since making his return to boxing, Pacquiao has been clear and consistent in his call for a rematch with Mayweather. In every interview and appearance, he has openly stated that he is ready for the fight. There are no mind games or drawn-out negotiations, just a straightforward challenge. He has placed the responsibility entirely on Floyd, making it known that the next move is his. This direct approach shows Manny's strong competitive spirit. He truly believes he can still compete at the top level, and he is proving that belief through action, not just words. What once seemed unlikely is now back on the table, and Pacquiao is fully prepared, waiting for the moment with gloves in hand.
The boxing world is buzzing with excitement as Manny Pacquiao gears up for his showdown with WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios. But that's not all. There's talk of a potential rematch with Floyd Mayweather. Pacquiao's not holding back, saying Mayweather's been ducking him. He wants a real fight, not just an exhibition. Can you imagine the hype if this happens? It could be worth billions. But first, Pac-Man's got to handle business this Saturday. If he wins, will it force Mayweather to step up, or will Barrios spoil the party? One thing's for sure, the line of fighters wanting a piece of Pacquiao will be long if he comes out on top. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over.
Boxing coach Abel Sanchez shared his technical insight into what makes Pacquiao so effective in the ring. According to him, Manny's strength is not based on raw power, but on his ability to deliver clean, accurate punches at lightning speed. Despite taking a 4-year break, Pacquiao returned with timing and rhythm that impressed even experienced trainers. Sanchez pointed out that his physical condition and hand-eye coordination have not suffered with age. These core skills are what allow him to stay competitive against much younger fighters. While many boxers decline over time, Pacquiao's style is designed for longevity, and Sanchez's breakdown only supports the view that he remains at an elite level.
It didn't seem like Barrios wanted to hurt Manny, and maybe it's the respect. Maybe the greatness was, he was in the ring with greatness and didn't want to do anything dumb.
Yeah, like I spoke to Bob after the fight, who's the trainer of Barrios, and he was telling me he was getting on Mario's ass about that. Like he felt like he was being too nice, and he told him that you got to take it to him, man. Like leave all that crap outside. Like you be mean, you got to take it to him.
Yeah, but you know what? We are on the outside. We're not taking near a lick as a coach.
Yeah.
He's in there with a great legend, and he's in there with somebody that can punch and somebody that can fight. So his mentality and his sentiment and what he sees there is a hell of a lot different than what we see on the outside. All we can do is try to encourage our guys, but we're not taking any punches.
Yeah, and there was flashes of the old Pacquiao there, though.
At times.
Yeah, at times.
Yeah.
Obviously not like before, but, his patented jab straight and then come up top was there. It landed a few times in the first round. He landed a straight like almost right away, I felt, to kind of show Mario like, hey, I might not be as fast as I was when I was 30, but I'm still fast enough to break your nose or do some damage to you.
Yeah, and for Manny, it wasn't so much the power; it was the speed and the accuracy and the 2 or 3 punches in a row that put you in trouble. So maybe Barrios was not gonna have any of that. Who knows? But again, it didn't look like the kind of fight that puts people on the edge of the seats.
Just covering Pacquiao's career for as long as I have, there was a few things that I noticed. Like I felt like at times. And maybe this will get better now that he's, doing he said that he's going to come back, that he's eyeing maybe October, November this year to come back again in another fight. He's more consistent. I know when you're older, it's like the old saying, like, you got to use it so you don't lose it,
Right.
Even though Pacquiao did not walk away with the official win against Barrios' performance was strong enough to start serious conversations about his current level. Many fans and experts felt that the decision by the judges was questionable and that Manny should have been awarded the victory. But beyond the result, his showing reignited debates about whether he still has what it takes to beat Mayweather. The championship belt was no longer the main concern. What mattered was what people saw with their own eyes. Pacquiao appeared quicker, more focused, and highly determined. The debate has shifted from age to skill. This version of Manny has given many reasons to believe that not only is a rematch possible, but it is one he could actually win.
this whole Barrios and Manny thing, y'all don't see what the bigger picture is? Y'all don't think we're gonna get a May Park 2 coming soon? Y'all don't think so? Because you do know Barrios is the ultimate company man.
Oh.
Mayweather Pac 2, yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that. I'm more on the Tank. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I think that Tank gets the fight.
That's what I've been saying. I said I'm going to stand on it that if Manny Pacquiao pulls this off and gets that belt, Floyd Mayweather's coming out of retirement.
Not all responses have supported the idea of a rematch. There is a large part of the boxing community that holds both fighters dear and would rather see their legacies remain intact. Watching two aging legends face off again may feel bittersweet. For these fans, seeing either of them lose would spoil the perfect memory of their best years. Nostalgia has a strong influence in sports, and the idea of one icon beating the other in a final fight is difficult to accept. For some, preserving the history matters more than creating new excitement.
Nobody wants to see a Pacquiao versus Mayweather 2. The first fight was a decade ago, and it took too long to happen. And now they both, it's just like, come on, bro. We just trying to squeeze the life out of boxing, for real. Y'all want to watch two senior citizens spar? Because they both pushing 50. And the thing that will make it the most disappointing to me is that we should have had this when they were in their primes. And the fact that if they're trying to fight now, it's just a money grab. They just know they can both get a nice check from it. And why not? That would be the only reason, because they pushed this off so many times. A lot of y'all wasn't alive back then. Y'all wasn't outside. This was the discussion in boxing for a good 6-year stretch. Is when would Floyd Mayweather fight Manny Pacquiao? Is Pacquiao juiced? Floyd's ducking everybody who's actually good. He doesn't want to fight anybody in their prime. This was the talk about, this was the boxing talk for almost a decade. And the fact that they would come back and do it now, it makes me so mad, because I already know people would watch. It would get the views, but it's just going to be disappointing because the first fight was disappointing.
Roy Jones Jr., a legend in his own right, stirred debate by leaving Mayweather off his list of all-time greats. His reasoning was not about Floyd's record, but about the quality of opponents Jones feels that Mayweather often avoided. Facing the toughest fighters during their prime, although Floyd's resume features big names, many were past their peak or not seen as serious threats at the time. This criticism supports the idea that Floyd's legacy may not be as untouchable, as some think, especially when compared to fighters like Pacquiao, who consistently seek out the hardest challenges.
So Roy Jones Jr. says Floyd Mayweather isn't in his top 5 boxers of all time because Floyd never fought a boxer that was his equal, and reveals he's still open to fighting Floyd in a boxing match. Look, man, Roy, you sounding real desperate, dog, because Floyd didn't have Ali as his #1 fighter of all time. I hope you guys understand. This all stems from Floyd saying Ali wasn't the GOAT. Relax, Roy. We get it. You just overwhelmingly love Muhammad Ali for some reason. I don't care if you got Floyd top 5 or not. Floyd's my #2. I feel like if he's not top 5, your list is already trash. But all I know is he's way above Roy Jones Jr. Roy was a PED chief who got exposed when he had to get off him. And he didn't fight nobody. Roy's resume's empty. It's a skeleton. He got James Toney. Outside of that, it's nobody legendary on his resume outside of Toney that I could think of. Roy was a great fighter, one of the highest peaks in modern boxing history for sure. But the guy, at the end of the day, he didn't fight nobody. I'm cool with Roy saying Floyd ain't top 5, but as long as he don't got himself in that top 5, we all good. You guys let me know how y'all feel about this. I think Roy Jones looks really desperate. I think he really is seeking attention from Floyd. It's getting really bad.
The road to their 2015 fight was marked by missed chances and harsh accusations. For years, both teams blamed each other for why the fight did not happen sooner. Negotiations fell apart many times because of issues with drug testing. Demands, money splits, and broadcast rights, while Pacquiao accepted almost every term, many fans believe. Mayweather was mainly responsible for the delays. One common theory among boxing followers is that Floyd avoids a rematch because it puts his undefeated record at risk.
Biggest fight in boxing. I do think that Pacquiao was willing to face Mayweather in this situation. He just didn't want to agree to those stipulations. And if the stipulations aren't too ridiculous, I think it is ducking. Pacquiao would then face Joshua Clottey instead on the 13th, and Floyd would go on to face Shane Mosley. Pacquiao beats Clottey by decision, and Floyd beats Mosley by decision. Half a year after the initial negotiations fell through, Pacquiao takes a U-turn and actually agrees on the 14-day blood testing. With the new stipulations, Team Pacquiao had a new offer to offer Team Mayweather. And the way they saw it, if there was no testing disputes, Floyd should be eager to take the fight. So Floyd was given a deadline to accept the deal. Top Rank was very public about this and even gave a countdown on their public website. However, one thing that needs to be considered in this situation is that Bob Arum never disclosed the actual conditions of the contracts.
The first fight was surrounded by controversy mainly because of Manny's injured shoulder. Many believe that if Pacquiao had been fully healthy, he could have won now with Manny appearing stronger. Some think Floyd is avoiding a rematch because he worries about how a loss would affect his legacy. The issue is not only about the fight itself, but also about preserving an image that has been carefully built over many years.
My eyes keep telling me, wait, does Manny look like a steroid creation? Does he look like some mini Schwarzenegger? Well, I can give you any other thing that steroid can do, but not natural hand quickness. So if you're right about how Floyd Mayweather is the greatest defensive tactician in the history of boxing, what should he care about how ripped or big the head is of Manny Pacquiao? 27. Pretty boy Floyd is worried that for the first time in his career, he is going to get hit and hit and hit. He's going to get cut. He's going to get hurt. He is scared to
Man Pacquiao.
Pacquiao's fight with Barrios was viewed as a make-or-break moment. A victory could have set him up for a huge payday possibly against Floyd, but the bout ended in a draw, making things more complicated. Despite that, insiders say the result has not ended talks of a rematch. It is not about the official record, but the excitement Manny brought. His style, determination, and fitness convinced many that he still has major fights ahead. In boxing, fan interest often counts more than the scorecards.
So there's conversation going around that a Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao rematch is in the works if Pacquiao beats Barrios. And I want to ask y'all, do y'all want to see a rematch between these two? For me personally, fuck no. No. The first fight was boring. So just imagine this fight. They're even older now. And they first fight, I feel like it took too long for them to finally fight each other. Right? I feel like Floyd kind of dragged that shit out and caught Manny at a point in time where, you know, they both wasn't dead in their prime anymore, right? They still were great fighters, don't get me wrong, but they wasn't both dead in their prime. I feel like they should have fought dead in their prime against each other. But absolutely not. I don't want to see that. I know they say, oh, it can generate billions. Nah. I mean, people will tune in just because it's Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. But I'm going to be honest, I don't want to see that shit. No.
When Pacquiao entered the ring against Barrios, expectations were low, since he had not fought in years. Many assumed he would struggle, but instead he looked sharp. His punches landed cleanly. His movement was smooth and his footwork was natural. Commentators who had doubted him began to praise his performance. This fight not only showed he is still relevant, but also brought back excitement among fans for a possible return to the top. The reaction was clear that even in his 40s, Pacquiao still belongs with the best.
I mentioned the weekend was busy, so let's talk about the Manny Pacquiao fight. Manny Pacquiao, the Boxing Hall of Famer, 46 years old, inactive for nearly 4 years. His attempt to win a welterweight title came up just short, fighting to a draw against Mario Barrios. That wasn't the old Manny Pacquiao that we saw in the ring against Barrios. It was a lot better than what people were expecting, including me. What did you think of what you saw from Pacquiao? 46 years old, back in the ring for the first time since 2021.
Including you and me, we watched that fight together, and we were shocked. The fact that he went past the 5th, the 6th, the 7th round, and
got better too. Yeah,
he still had the bounce on his leg. Of course, it was flashes of the great Manny Pacquiao, but he was doing it against a young, strong, hungry, motivated champion in Barrios, and Barrios he was never in front of a old man, put it that way. He wasn't in front of a 46-year-old. It looked like he was in front of a guy that was in his mid-30s in Manny Pacquiao. And at 46 years old, to keep that fight as competitive all the way to the end, where a lot of people felt that he won, including myself, it's incredible. It really is incredible. And the fact that he was out of the ring so much, forget the age, the inactivity hits you harder when you're that old than actual, Father Nature. That is amazing. That is incredible. That reminds me of like Sugar Ray Leonard when he was out of the ring for 3 years and came back for Marvin Hagler. But Ray Leonard wasn't 46 years old. Pacquiao needs his legs to be explosive. That's how he made a career. That's how he became an A-division champion, an all-time great. and he still has the little bounce on his legs, man. So credit to those big ass calves that Manny Pacquiao has, because he showed signs of greatness, man. And it was great to see that, but the judges didn't give it to him.
Even now, debates continue over who has the greater legacy. Floyd's fans highlight his undefeated record and defensive skill, while Pacquiao supporters emphasize his unmatched achievements across 8 weight classes and his readiness to face any opponent. It is a clash between flawless defense and fearless risk-taking. In 2024, reports emerged that both camps were close to finalizing a deal for a second fight. Fans were excited, thinking history might repeat, but the agreement quietly fell through. Some blamed money, others Floyd's hesitation. Whatever the cause, the disappointment was clear. Since then, speculation has continued, and Pacquiao's recent return has reignited hope. Many fans now hold on to the belief that a rematch is still possible, and if it happens, it could finally provide the closure boxing fans have waited years to see.
Speaking of Mayweather, fam, do you see they're doing the Pacquiao rematch?
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say that, bro.
Guy,
I was about to say that. They announced it, and all the fans were like,
weirdest way, bro. It's like, yo, they didn't even know. It's like they didn't know if they actually meant to announce it or not.
This
or
one
like that fight's actually happening.
I heard in the comments that they announced it in like Chinese or something before, and then the crowd went crazy.
Like Japan, right,
yeah, in their language they announced it, and then they went crazy, and then they did it in English, and then like that was with silence.
That makes sense because Manny Pacquiao said it's like no one cared. I was like, bro, are we like hearing the same thing from? Like, the man just said he's fighting Floyd Mayweather, and no one cared. Everyone's like, okay, like hand over the mic, dog. Like,
people are saying massive. That they're saying that, or they're saying, oh, like where they were, it's like culture to not like make noise during stuff like this.
Bro,
like, it's
you know the fans that Manny Pacquiao has and stuff, bro. If he's announcing that fight, these guys are going off.
That is it for today's video, so stay tuned. Until next time.